no. So this is the fish finder, guys, and this is what we're going to be installing on our kayak. And we're going to be using it on that side of the kayak. Just because, I mean, there's where I have room. And also, I have this side utilized. So, let's get to it. So in the box was this, and then the little stand that comes with it, and these little locks, these little screws, and it comes with these screws to attach to here. And I'm gonna be attaching that to a stand that I bought on Amazon, and also we're gonna be attaching the transducer, which is this one that came with it. We're gonna be using this to attach that. So honestly, let's get started with that. So the way we're gonna be attaching the transducer is simply, you know what, let's just sit on the kayak, guys. Let's get comfortable. Okay. So with this transducer, guys, if you want to know, or if you're curious, this is a good indication to know which way you want that pointing, because you could, obviously have it going like this and you'll have it backwards. So this pointing straight is the correct way to have it. So that's what we're going to be doing. And since we're going to be mounting it on this side of the kayak, this is the way we want it to be going. So what I have here is pretty much a bolt and essentially a nut that I'm going to be using to attach the transducer to this mount right here. So this nut and this washer that I had thankfully fit through the hole that was already in place. So I'm just going to utilize that hole, and I'm going to mount it, and I'm going to mount it down on this. I'm going to loosen this up so. Okay. And all these parts that I'm using to attach my stuff to y'all was purchased on Amazon. So that's that, and then that's that. Cool. And so I don't confuse myself, I'm gonna have this dangling like that. That way it's easy for me to remember where I'm gonna be mounting that to. So now I'm gonna use, and so whenever I got this had a smaller hole, so what I did was use a 3/8 hole, a 3/8 drill bit to drill this hole bigger, just so I can pass this bolt through, and then use this to bolt this down, and then use this to screw it down or hold it down. So right now I'm just getting this started. That way I can have this somewhat to where I need to. And as we discussed earlier, we want this pointing straight or in front of us. And there's where we're gonna tie that down. I'm gonna use this. It's black, so you're not gonna see it, and it's just gonna attach it right to this snug. Actually, I want it to be. Yeah, you know what? we're gonna use as much as this as we need. Because the last thing you want is, you know, us hitting a branch in the water or anything and then it's just going with it. So we want this to be, you know, as tight as possible. And I'm gonna do this in multiple areas. And thankfully I can like tuck this in there right there too, y'all. And this is just black electric tape. If you like different colors, you can use different colors. So we got this pretty good. So then now, okay, now we got this transducer set up. So now guys, that I purchased this on Amazon, that was almost, I mean, it was no more than 20 bucks, I believe. So we're gonna use this, it's supposedly universal. And we're gonna use this to mount our fish finder screen to. And we're gonna be putting it on this track as well. That way it's close by to the wiring. And we did also, we were at Walmart, so we purchased some machine screws with nuts. That way we can make this work. We bought the 3/4 length and the 1-inch length. We're gonna go with the 1-inch ones, guys, because they have a bigger head. So yeah, I'll leave one out for size comparison. So this has a bigger head, so I feel more comfortable, a little more safer applying these. I just want to show you what it takes to mount a fish finder to a kayak. Universal it is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start these with my finger. These are pretty small. Nuts. I'm saying you can either use a Phillips or a flathead bit. All I'm gonna do, y'all, is just use this little, you can use a wrench or whatever, but this is what I have in hand. I'm gonna use my impact. That's tight right there. Next one. Last one. Feels pretty sturdy. The reason why I went with this is because as I push this, here we go. So that's there. And then this does, you know, swivel on its own. Perfect. Look at that, man. Dude, that's all I need. So, yeah, so I can just have it right there. And now, we can set our screen where we need it to be. Perfect. Put these on. Awesome. And it does have some little grooves, like right there. So you just want to match it, obviously. And once you have it in, you just twist lock. That's what I like about it too, it's got its twist locks. So I'll have to get the twist locks in, and this is going to be going here. Alright guys, so now we got the transducer, and we have the transducer mounted onto where we need to, and we also have our fish finder mount onto our tracking system. We need to connect the power cord to the fish finder and into our power box. We purchased this power box on Amazon. I can't remember the price, but it was like no more than 30 bucks. It came with this little washer. That way, and what I like about it is that once you drill your hole, get your wire through, this actually compresses down to make it waterproof. So like, I added electric tape to seal this up more, just to keep it where it needs to be, and it works perfect. And it's the perfect size for this battery. You know, just when you purchase things on Amazon, just make sure you look at the specs and just know what you're buying. That way when you are ready to get and receive what you have purchased, it works. So all this wiring stuff I did beforehand just because, but what I did was I made sure that I had the right connections for my battery. So I have my positive and then my negative. So I'm just going to connect that there, slide it in, and slide that in as well. Boom. That way that's in. So now that I got that going, tight it up, close it up, and seal it up. And then in here, this will be going in there. So now, this box, I'll be keeping in here. So now what we need to do is get this wire from the box here and connect to our fish finder. So let's get these unscrewed. 1, 2. Perfect. So now this has room to come out, and the twist lock I'll be putting on later, like I said. Seems like that's in. Boom, perfect. Alrighty, so now that we got everything connected, let's see if it's gonna work. It works, y'all. It is on. Look at that. Alright guys, so that's what it took to install the fish finder on the kayak. And yeah, not too bad. It just took me buying a few things off Amazon and essentially a few other little things just to make the hardwares work. But as always, thank you for watching guys, and I will catch y'all next time. And hopefully I can make a video using the fish finder and catching some fish for y'all. That way you can see how it works. Thank you guys, and as always, I appreciate y'all. Catch y'all next time.